Japan is an amazing country with a unique blend of ancient traditions and modern innovation. But if you're planning to visit or stay in Japan, it's crucial to understand the customs and etiquette. Breaking social rules can make you stand out, in a bad way. Today, I'll walk you through the most important rules and traditions you need to know to have a smooth and respectful experience in Japan. Let's get started. In Japan, bowing is more than just a greeting, it's a sign of respect. The depth of your bow depends on the situation, a slight nod for casual settings, a deeper bow for formal occasions, and an almost 90-degree bow for deep apologies. When in doubt, a small bow is always appreciated. But remember, handshakes are not as common in Japan unless you're dealing with someone who is used to Western customs. If you're in a formal business setting, a handshake with a slight bow may be acceptable, but always wait for the other person to initiate it. One of the biggest mistakes tourists make: wearing shoes indoors. In Japan, it's customary to remove your shoes before entering homes, temples, and even some restaurants or traditional inns, known as ryokan. You'll often see a step or designated area for shoe removal at the entrance. Slippers will usually be provided, but remember, never wear toilet slippers outside of the restroom. Also, when visiting someone's home, bring clean socks, as going barefoot may be considered impolite. Japan values harmony and respect for others, especially in public spaces. Unlike in some countries where talking loudly in public is common, in Japan people keep their voices low in trains, buses, and elevators. Phone calls in public transport? Big no-no. If you need to take a call, step outside or wait until you reach a less crowded area. Also, avoid public displays of affection, such as kissing or hugging, as these are generally considered too intimate for public settings. Japanese dining comes with its own set of rules. Here are a few key ones. Never stick chopsticks upright in rice. This resembles a funeral ritual. Don't pass food from chopstick to chopstick, also linked to funeral customs. Slurping noodles is okay. In fact, it's a sign that you're enjoying your meal. Saying itadakimasu before eating and gochisusama deshita after your meal shows gratitude. And remember, tipping is not a thing in Japan. It can even be considered rude. If eating sushi, don't drown it in soy sauce. Just lightly dip the fish side. At izakayas, Japanese pubs, pouring drinks for others before yourself is a sign of respect. Time is taken very seriously in Japan. Whether it's meeting a friend, catching a train, or attending a business event, being on time means being early. Japanese trains are famously punctual, and if one is even a minute late, announcements and apologies will follow. Running late? Always apologize, even if it's just by a couple of minutes. If you're in a business setting, arriving 5 to 10 minutes early is ideal. Japanese people highly value personal space and hygiene. You'll notice that even in packed trains, people avoid unnecessary contact. Another key custom? Wearing a mask when sick? It's a way to protect others, not just yourself. Also, public trash cans are rare. People usually carry their trash until they find a proper disposal area, often at convenience stores. Chewing gum loudly, spitting, or littering is considered very impolite. Gift giving in Japan is an important cultural practice. If you're visiting someone's home, bring a small gift like sweets or souvenirs from your country. The way you present it matters too. Presentation is key. When receiving a gift, politely refuse once or twice before accepting. This is part of the etiquette, and always use both hands when giving or receiving something. Also, avoid overly expensive gifts as they may make the recipient feel obligated to return the favor. Public baths and onsens or hot springs are a unique experience in Japan, but they come with strict rules. First, shower thoroughly before entering the bath. No swimsuits are allowed. You must bathe nude, but don't worry, it's normal here. Also, tattoos may be restricted. Some onsens ban tattoos due to their association with yakuza or organized crime, so check beforehand. First, let's talk about business etiquette. In Japan, the way you exchange business cards is of great importance. When presenting your card, always use both hands and offer the card with the text facing the recipient, so they can read it immediately. When receiving a business card, take a moment to carefully examine it. Don't just pocket it immediately. Show respect by pausing and then placing it in a holder. Bowing is also crucial in professional settings, whether you're greeting someone, thanking them, or parting ways. In Japan, hierarchy is important. When entering a meeting, the most senior person should sit at the farthest point from the door. Always defer to the highest-ranking individual, addressing them first and offering them the best seat. Next, let's talk about transportation manners. One of the most visible examples of Japanese etiquette is the strict adherence to queuing. Whether you're waiting for a train, bus, or elevator, you'll find orderly lines everywhere. On trains, giving up your seat for elderly passengers or those with disabilities is a common practice. It's not just polite, it's expected. And speaking of public transport, eating and drinking on trains is generally frowned upon. People here prefer to keep the environment calm and clean. When visiting religious sites like shrines and temples, there are specific protocols to follow. At Shinto shrines, you'll often see a purification fountain near the entrance. To purify your hands before entering, use the ladle to scoop water, rinse one hand, switch the ladle to the other hand, and rinse the second hand. Finally, rinse your mouth with a little water. When praying at a shrine or temple, bow twice, clap twice, and then bow once more. The prayer is personal, so take a moment to reflect quietly. In Japan, drinking culture plays a big role in social interactions. At a group drinking event, such as a nomikai, drinking party, it's customary to pour drinks for others before pouring for yourself. This is seen as a way of showing respect and building camaraderie. And when it's time to toast, everyone will shout Kanpai, which means cheers. Remember to wait for the first person to toast before taking your drink. Respecting elders is another cornerstone of Japanese culture. In conversations, always use the proper honorifics when addressing someone, such as san for most people, sama for those of higher status, and kun or chan for younger or familiar individuals. When it comes to seating arrangements, elders are always given priority. In a family setting or even in a meeting, they sit at the most respected positions. Honorifics are essential in Japanese communication. San is the most common honorific used with almost anyone, but it's neutral and formal. Kun is used for younger men or boys, while chan is more affectionate and used for children or close friends. Sama is a very respectful honorific used in formal situations or for customers. Writing etiquette is equally important in Japan. When addressing a letter or a gift, make sure to use the proper formalities. Start with a polite greeting and use honorifics. And when it comes to gifts, the wrapping is just as important as the gift itself. Present the gift with both hands and ensure it is beautifully wrapped. Be cautious with certain words or numbers as well. Numbers like 4 and 9 are considered unlucky, so they should be avoided in gifts or formal writing. In the event of an emergency, Japan has very strict protocols. Earthquakes are common, so knowing how to react is crucial. If you're inside, take cover under a sturdy table or against a wall. For typhoons, stay indoors and listen to local broadcasts for safety updates. Medical emergencies are handled promptly, and most people are trained in first aid. In case of emergencies, call the local emergency number, which is 119 for fire and ambulance services. When shopping in Japan, politeness is key. When handling merchandise, don't touch the items unnecessarily or place them on the counter carelessly. Pay attention to the way products are displayed and treat them with respect. Be sure to greet the cashier with a polite bow or nod and always say arigatou gozaimasu, or thank you. Finally, let's talk about festival customs. At Matsuri, festivals, it's important to show respect for the traditions. When participating in a procession, follow the lead of the organizers, maintain a respectful attitude, and wear your yukata or festival attire properly. Don't forget to be respectful of others' space while enjoying the festivities, and always be mindful of the noise levels. Festivals are fun, but they're still rooted in tradition and respect for the community. Japan's seasonal traditions are a huge part of the culture, and they bring the entire country together in celebration. One of the most iconic seasonal events is Hanami, the cherry blossom viewing festival. Hanami typically takes place in the spring, when cherry blossoms bloom across the country. It's a time for families, friends, and co-workers to gather in parks, have picnics, and enjoy the fleeting beauty of the blossoms. It's a practice deeply rooted in the appreciation of nature and the awareness of the impermanence of life. During Hanami, it's not just about looking at the flowers, it's about reflecting on life's ephemeral beauty and connecting with others. Keep in mind though, that it's considered impolite to be too loud or disrupt others' enjoyment of the serene atmosphere. So there you have it, 19 essential etiquette rules and traditions to keep in mind when you're in Japan. By following these simple yet significant practices, you'll not only show respect to the people around you, but you'll also gain a deeper understanding of this beautiful and unique culture. Thanks for watching. If you've learned something new today or have any questions, feel free to comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more cultural insights from Japan. See you in the next video.